2, 3. Guys, we're back and we are live with another edition of my Unreal Tips where I just look throughout Unreal and I see what people need in their games, and then I'm going to put it in either Blueprints or C++. For this one, we are going to be doing Blueprints because it's just a lot easier to do than having to do it all in C++. Just open a door, because remember, guys, we want to be practical programmers, and as practical programmers, it's wise just to use the timeline and the blueprints versus actually just going in there and writing it in code in C++. And my reasoning being is that if you need to edit something or if you need to change something really quickly, it's a lot easier to do in blueprints, and it's a lot better for prototyping. So without any further ado, guys, let's get started. So what I have here is your basic third-person template. I've opened it up and created just a simple dummy project, and what I've done is I've used the starter kit to essentially create the door. So what happens is you can go to the starter kit right here. See here, you can go to the starter kit and you can go to the props, and your props should be in here. So your door and your small door frame should both be here. Now what I've done is create a folder called door, and if you right click here you can create an actor, because remember, in my UE developmental course and UE framework stuff, I talk about how actors can actually be viewed in the world. Well, this is one of the instances where we're going to use an actor, because in this scenario we're going to open the door. Okay, so essentially what you will have is this by the time you're done. You walk up to the door and it opens. Okay, this is what our aim is. Okay, and as you can see, you walk away, it closes. Okay, now there's different tricks in timeline that you can actually get it to do different behavioral things, but for now we're just going to walk up to the door and it opens, and then we walk away, it closes. Okay, and sometimes depending on your game, you might not want it to close, you might just want it to wait until you walk back up to it and it opens. But for this part, I just want to show you how timeline works. So let's go back to what I was talking about. And like I said, if you go here, create a new actor, call it BP door. And the next thing we're going to do is create a series of components. And what I did was I just created I searched for it in static mesh, and I made sure that it was it was connected to my root component. And so as you can see, I renamed it to door frame and then renamed it to door. And all you do is you go here and you look for door is over here, and then you can also add another one for the door frame and do the same process. So you could do door and then add it to the static mesh, because remember, in Unreal we're building with components. Now the next thing you have to think about is, once you have those two door frames, the door frame and the door, you obviously need some type of collision. So what I've done is I've just used the box collision. As you can see, it's down here, so when the player steps over here, he will trigger it and it's supposed to open the door. Okay, another thing that you need to be aware about is, let's see over here, is that when the player steps into it, you want to make sure that they're at a distance so that when the player steps into it, it looks natural. So naturally I just left it at where it spawned at, which was right here, where it was instantiated at, which was right here. If you want to change it or change different things about it, go ahead, by all means, go ahead and change it. This tutorial is just to show you how to get started. So now what we're going to do is, the first thing you're going to do is right click over here and type in timeline, and you're going to add a new timeline, and then you're going to name it door timeline. And as you can see, I've already named it over here. So what you do next is, let's get rid of this one, is you can go to sec, you can double click it and it will actually open up a timeline so you can make a curve on there. Okay, so basically what you want to do with timeline is you always want to make these sort of curves, and the way that you start to do it is add float track. It will add the track, and if you want to keep it in the zoom to fit, you just do zoom horizontal, and so you would hold shift and let's see, your shift click. See, I've got another one, shift click, I've got another one. So it's just shift and click, okay? So I will put it in the instructions at the bottom of this video, but it's shift and click. And what you want to do is set it to 0, 0 right here, okay? And then you want to go to this area over here and also make another one and make sure that it's at 5 length, which is right here, the length at 5. And you can also hit shift and click. And it's actually shift right click, okay? So I'm sorry, shift left click, shift left click, shift left click, okay? So you can add different curves to it, different points for the different curves. So what I've done is I've made sure that this one was at 5.0 and at 90. So remember, 0, 0 and 5.0 and 90. Okay, once you have that done, please name it door rotation Z, and then go ahead and click shift here and click shift here, and make sure that they are on auto. Okay, you want to make sure it's on auto, not linear, but auto, and then unclick them. Okay, so once you've got that done, compile and save. Okay, and then this should be it for this curve for what you've made. Now, once that's done, what we're going to do is go to the box component. When you're down here, you can see that Unreal already has a way for you to make triggers, or what we say events. So for this one, we're going to do on component begin overlap and on component end overlap. And the reason why is because we're using this actual collision component for the box. And so this is what we're actually wanting our pawn to hit. So we're going to be using component, hence the word component. So what I've done is I've used both of them because we want it on begin and on end. So when the player enters it and when the player exits it, we want some kind of behaviors to go on. So then what I've simply done is I put it in play, and so when you see the in reverse, it's because when the player walks out of it, that the door goes back in reverse and it closes. Now you can mess with these settings over here and do different things with it, and you can also mess with the conditions over here to see what other stuff you can come up with. But for this video, guys, we're just setting up the bare premise for getting this door to open and close. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to connect this one to the begin overlap box to the play, and then on component end overlap to the reverse. We're going to grab this variable, we're going to grab this door, which has a static mesh variable type, and we're going to put it into the set relative rotation, which sets the rotation of the component relevant to its parent. And the target is actually a scene component, so we're going to be using this. And now another thing that we need to do is actually get the yaw. So what I've done is I've gotten the make rotator, and then for the make rotator, for the yaw, for the Z yaw, I've gotten the return for the new rotation. Okay, so with this all said and done, and again, if you're not understanding this, you can just go online to like Google or even another YouTube tutorial, and you can actually see them doing it a different way. Doesn't mean that it's incorrect. I mean, I've seen people who've even casted it. If you don't like casting, then there's certain ways around it, but I've seen a lot of different implementations. So make sure that you go and do your due diligence and your research. But now let's get back to the video. So now that we've got all these things, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nodes. So remember that you need 6 nodes. If you're missing 6, then you did something wrong. So we've got our curve done, we've saved it, we've changed the name, We've made sure that it was auto for both of these keys. And so now let's see if it works. Okay, so, and as you can see, it opens. Okay, and then it closes when I walk away. And that's the same for all these, okay? Because I put these different actors out here. It closes when I walk away. So, now let's get back to something else. So what if I just change this on end to stop? So let's see what happens. Opens. Okay, the player walks away, it stops and closes. So maybe when you're making a horror game, you can kind of keep the player guessing, like, okay, do I need to get back to the door? Is there something there? Is there something there? And voila, something pops in. Your player starts to attack it, starts to shoot at it. There's different behavior that you can set up. So I hope that this video worked out for you guys. This is another quick tip. So I will try to do these quickly just for quick fixes for anybody who's new to Unreal, or maybe you're a pro and you understand a lot of it and you just need to see the copy of the nodes and what's going on. You can go ahead and fast forward it to the sections that you need. So this is just one of many different videos that I will be doing. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe because it helps out my channel. And thank you for watching. Have a great day and take care of your family, take care of everyone. And I hope to see you soon in my other courses. Okay, guys, talk to you soon.